A pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora, and elsewhere. Fellow Guyanese, today I want to address you with a lot of things, but time might be against us, that's why I keep using it. I was looking at the young woman again today, video, where she speak about from the airport to the city about the street. And many people upset the way she speak. The only thing that I was mad with her, which the F word don't mean anything because that's not a curse. A curse is when you wish somebody bad. Like I'm about to tell you here today. Because people get carried away, especially when it's a different race or a different party affiliates. Well, and the young brother, the young little mix-up kid like myself, who say he don't think he will speak no more. He's fed up. He's the future of the nation, the future of the world. And he's fed up with the parasites, the fools and the ignorant people in Guyana. But before I continue, I would like all of you to subscribe who are looking at my video. Tell your friends, subscribe to it and press the bell so you will get the next update. Today, I won't disclose much personal things about the Americans, the Russians, the Chinese, the British, the French, and the Jews of Israel. But I will bring you all to an up-to-date things. Did any one of you see the news what is happening in the whole of Africa? Sudan, they are fighting for power. Black people killing black people. One of the MV, the rocket launcher, the machine gun, and all the things they're buying, it costs money. Why these two jokers don't sit down and heal the wound of the bloody country in Sudan and stop this tribal affair between one another for power? That country was used, you had to divide it. Muslim one side and the others one side, and they can't agree. Come on. And you, African descendant, who's out of Africa talking about the white man. The white man. Why all of us who condemn the white man don't leave the country in Latin America, South America, America, Canada, where else it is, and go back to Africa? Since we condemning them. I was looking at the news, and we're up to date with it because we have been briefed. How many hundreds young, innocent black boys and girls and children, mothers and fathers are dying because of these effing corrupt black leaders in Africa? Well, I could agree natural disaster, flooding, earthquake, hurricane, famine, heat wave, like what is happening in Liberia, and many more. But you must remember, Liberia, who happens to be the place that Marcus Garvey take all the black people who they want to go back to Africa, and they rule that place and treat the native like they were nobody. Worse than the Europeans have treated them. And they speak the language, they are the color, the text of the hair and everything. And they do it wholeheartedly because of power drunk. They want their wife to be queen and them to be king. They want your sons and fathers, uncles and brothers to drive them out and wave hand to you fools in the street corner, like what's happening in the Caribbean and Guyana and elsewhere. My friends, I am going to tell you all something here today you won't like. Let's come down and deal with the biblical Bible. My black learned brothers says and sisters that Abraham what happens to be a black man. They didn't say a black person, they say a black man. So I'm giving it to you raw. They say he was a black man. And I guess his wife, Sarah, could have been a black woman too. What do you think? Because in East Africa, there was no such thing as Africa, India, and China at that time. It was the world. Anyhow, make a long story short, I want to know where he get an Indian slave named Agard. And I give you all, I won't say sex, I won't say love, and think all I could say, he disrespect the woman because an old bastard tell him, as he said, the Bible said, not me, that Sarah tell him to go to bed. Abraham, have sex with her so she could give you an offspring. But brother, I guess that bed with that spring already rotten and forgotten. So you mean to tell me from the beginning of time, if he was black, you black people was running away from responsibility? So when that child born, he put her on a camel or a jackass, a donkey, and put her in the wilderness to die. She could have been captured by people who selling slaves, being raped. He didn't care. You mean to tell me the European got better law? He would have been in jail until he died. It was England, France, America, and elsewhere. Come on. Y'all don't know what the white people went through in England and France, in Germany and Italy, Greece. Y'all don't know. Y'all only talk about yourself. But what the tribal people have done to one another was beyond the explanation of humanity. Don't make the lie to you. So you black people who's out of Africa for hundreds of years, you should not condemn the European. For there is good and bad in every race. White man kill white man more than he kill any other race. World War I, World War II. And Chinese kill a lot of their own. The wall of China, according to information, got a lot of skull and bone because once that wall started, you fall down, nobody stop. You got to continue. Where are they going to throw the body, my friends? And India, with all the Maharajas and Maharajis, they had more slaves than anything else. So what are you talking about? It looked like God Almighty, Allah, Bhagwan, or God, allowed slavery from Abraham time to now. And if God says that adultery is a sin, I would ask him why he allowed Abraham to fuck his slave. It's a four-letter word. Some people got that name and title, okay? So it's not a bad word. A curse is when you wish somebody bad. All right? And voodoo is when you go to hurt them by the devil's side. Because you're looking for what you want. Because either you're jealous, you're corrupt, or you're covetous. All right? So I want you all to know we are living in the 24th century. I am calling on the black race internationally. Stop talking about white man. And look upon the broad side. They were killing each other. Trust me. America, the great America of democracy, who father it and champion it. And human rights also is violation of many things because they take side for many things. But they have their reason, which I'm not going to get into it. Because everybody have a good side and a bad side. Oliver Cromwell had to cut out the king head, Charles, 1627, I think, to be exact. And in France, Louis and his wife was killed. And poor Napoleon, according to information, they put him in exile on some little island, and maybe that's where he died. I didn't get into it too much, you know. I don't speak parler français, you understand? So I want you all to understand clearly. Whatever happened in the world with mixed race, Indian one way, Chinese, everybody, that was the will of God. But at the same time, we are not here to look back, we must look forward. All the priests tell you, God says, vengeance is his, said the Lord. And yes, when we hear that, nobody's greater than God. But I have some questions for God because I love to question. God and Lucifer, the devil, is forever and ever. None of we see them. We all die and gone. You know how many generations we have lost before we are here? But yet the priests tell you, the Lord says, Vengeance is his, said the Lord. Said Jesus said it? Okay, let me give Jesus the right. Then the Muslim says, and Jesus said you have to go so the Comforter could come. So could he be speaking about Muhammad? Or maybe Mandela, who knows? Or maybe Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, or maybe Brother Farrakhan. Who's the next messenger? Because Prophet Muhammad, if he's the last messenger, then he should have followed the teaching of Isa, who is Jesus, and leave the violence to God, because revenge should have been God. And he's the last messenger, the last prophet. You know what I'm telling you? You kill mine, I'm going to kill yours. Okay? You poison them, we're all going to drink poison. Because no, we live forever. We must learn to live together and enjoy God's world until his time. Unite, help each other to build life for everybody. We must make this world a better place for the next generation, because we start from bush house, truly, wood house, concrete house, and we start from latrine to toilet, flushing. Now them Arab, they make gold look stupid what some of you got in your mouth. That's why I don't wear it. They make golden toilet and shit and piss in it. And maybe even flush the sperm in it with a condom. Who knows? Think of it. So what we are trying to cherish, other people shitting and pissing in it. And no matter how much money you got, how many throne and gold and palace you got to die and leave it, and you're going into a graveyard where the poor and the beggars were there too. What does it profit a man to gain the entire universe but lose his soul? Those are nice words, isn't it? So all that bullshit, many things in the Bible I question. Saul, who became Paul, he said Jesus tell him, bring Christianity into Rome, and he gave back his sight. He wasn't blind from the first bloody place. It was gangsterism, like what your PNC and APNU and PPP are doing to you right now. God forgive me. That's when you sneeze in a conversation, it's true. Anyhow, make a long story short, APNU is angry and complaining that the red shot, that the PPPC is bribing the people. And what do you expect? If you are hungry, you're going to wait on APNU or PNC to help you? Anywhere you get a plate of food or something, you got to fill your stomach first, because all them politicians got money. I am wondering if they're just acting to keep a ear down while they are getting paid off with the oil money and the gold and the other corruption. And both parties got blood on their hand. Ministers in government got a lot of things to answer in time to come, present, and past. And I want you all to know, Miss Annie Lynn, you're doing a good job. But be careful those who you shook hands with and drink wine with. Okay? I know you're representing the American interests, but Guyana can take 20 to 30 million people when America refusing 54 million. That America themselves helped to destroy those people's country by putting dictators from Africa to the Caribbean to Latin and South America. But you have your reason, because of communism. Same as what the Russian president is trying to avoid around his hemisphere. Okay? So we could understand the respect to protect your country and your people and what you've done. But we must find another solution. And what to do with it. With all the white man is bad as the black man says, ask them where they are going when they leave the shore of Africa on boats, are drowning. They're flying out to Mexico to come through paying cartel money. Many of the women being raped. I blame the UN and the international community for not applying pressure on any country that is exploiting their people, that causing mayhem in these brothers of humanity. And any bank, from Swiss bank to any bank who holding any politician money, must declare it and hand it back to the nation. I remember Alfonso de Mato, Senator of New York. He was lobbying for the Jews to get back their money that the Germans during Adolf Hitler time have taken from the Jews, and he got it back. If I remember right, I'm not going to say letters, if I remember right. I can err between 1 to 10, 7, but do your history. So I call upon you Indian and black people in Guyana to stop the bloody bullshit, unite for National Front government. All right? All the ministers are taking care of friends and family. So I beg of you all to come together. A man says Guyana is one people, one nation, one destiny. Brother, go back to school. You can't have an Amerindian race, indigenous, the mixed race, the East Indian, the Portuguese and Chinese, and tell me they are one nation, one people, one destiny. China is a one nation, one people, one destiny. India is a one nation, one people, one destiny. Only religion divide them. And the whole Africa is the same. And Idi Amin prove it, and Mugabe. And now South Africa, I heard, is trying to do the same. Please, for God's sake, let's unite and save God's world and unite with our brothers and sisters regardless of the language or culture. And let's open up Guyana to Ghana, where the blacks came from, and India, where the Indian came from, but we have laws. No religious conflict, and you shall return back to your native country of origin. No, as I said, and no racial tension. Black life matters must be all life matters. Because if you don't like black people, don't sleep at night. And if you don't like the white, don't wake up in the day. As we say clear, you could see. My friends, stop the bullshit. Stop the fighting. And let's unite for a national front government in Guyana, where all 6 races shall be together. We won't need an opposition then. We need good law enforcement, and everyone should be a part to defend the country. Open up the door, Mr. Ali. And also, before I go, look into our case very seriously. Mohan Lal of Canaan pumping water into our land is alleged. If that happened to be true, the NDC and all of them need to answer. Nothing lasts forever, Ali. May Allah Ta'ala be with you and your family. Keep your work doing. And, Mr. Norton, you got snakes on board. So wake up. You have snakes on board, Mr. Norton. Them who were supporting the PPP grew up in it. How will they love you when they get kicked out? Because they couldn't get what they want. Nagamutu said clearly in Queens in a meeting, the late Jerry Jagan tell you when he dead, he must rule Guyana. That Jagan talked in the bush. Well, the only body talked to Moses in the bush was God according to the Bible, the burning bush. I didn't know that the man who walked with flesh and blood, named Moses, of modern time, and Jagan was God talking in the bush. What nonsense is this? And the other one, Kamraj Ramjatan. Please, sir, in respect to you, get the letter from your investigator that my son pled guilty to the case when we have his bail paper to show. If not, nothing lasts forever. But our hands won't touch you. And by the way, I was made to understand the lawyer who handled Anthony case with the corrupt woman on the East Coast who I pardoned from going to jail by Western Union or MoneyGram, after press charge on me and tried to lock up and harass me, may God curse her and her generation. And the judge who takes side, because when I shook the lawyer hand, I told Mr. Snow he don't have long to live if he's a part of the pack, because they are corrupt. But you got a lot of dead gun come out who hurt us. Check it out. My mouth don't go far. We all have to die. But if you kill mine, so help me God, we are going to go to it. But let God make the decision. If Muhammad, your prophet, will go to war, George Correa hands don't have cotton wool, okay? But let us not go there. Mr. Ali, you're doing what is right. Paint the street in red too. because Jagan got the red house. Have a good day. You make a lot of difference. You're doing better than all of them. Good luck.